Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Well, I came across this picture in a magazine and right away I thought, wow, that would be quite an interesting one to paint. Quite a lot of super colours. I'm just looking at the field in the foreground. I don't know if that's sort of lavender, I think it would be. Super colour, I like that. And I'm looking at the sky, so many yellows, oranges, blues, and of course you've got the big green trees with a red roof, so much colour and contrast. So I thought, right, we'll need to have a go at that for the students. So I'm going to get the paints out and see what happens. So I'm going to start off with a sketch as usual. There's not much in this as a sketch. I'm really just going to draw a line round about here for the end of that lavender field. I'll draw the small building in, give me an indication of where the trees will be, and that will be it. The rest will be up to the paints, so we'll see. So start off with a sketch. Going to zoom out a bit to let you see it. Right, so yeah, as I say, I'm just going to put a line along here for where the field hits that wall, and that goes round the corner a bit. There's another end of the field down there. So this wall just comes along the front here to about here and goes up a bit, and the building starts about here, pointed roof, I think I'll keep it that nice red colour. It's a super contrast with the greens. Quite a long building that. Right, that will about do. All I'm going to do is just give me an idea where this the greenery of that first tree is, and the second. This is a huge tree. This covers quite a large area there. And some hills in the distance. Right, I think that'll do. So that's the sketch done. Okay, I'm going to start off with this sky, and as I said to you, so many colours here. We need a bit of planning. We need to plan this out here. So I need to mix up some yellow, I need some blues and some oranges, and that might do. Right, so I'm just going to swing over here just now and get these paints ready. So I'm going to have some blue. There's a fault right away. Got some green on the blue from our previous painting. Right, I'm going to start again. Right, some blue. I'm just going to stick with cobalt blue, although it's a sort of purplish blue. I might add a bit of crimson to that later on. Right, I'm going to have some cadmium yellow, and I'm just going to shift it a bit. I need some yellow ochre as well. And I'll do some orange. Just keep it here. and see what develops. Right. I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to mix up some, I'm going to use a bit of ultramarine blue and I'm going to add some crimson just to change that colour a bit. It's better. Right, so we've got a real mixture of colours here. Now we just need to try and put them into the sky and see how it turns out. So, I'm just thinking about this here. There's a lot in this. Right, let's go. So I'm going to start with some yellow at the bottom, just to kind of get that bottom part filled in. So I'm going to just get it along here. I'm going to take it straight along just now. Right, straight along to the far end. Right. Okay, so that's the yellow, and there's a bit up here I'm just going to add as well. In fact, I think we'll just cover all that in here. And there's one or two bits up there, and one or two bits there. Right, so that's that in. I'm going to soften some of that off. Soften some of this. And that, right. I'm going to go in with the orange colour now. And put some in here. And the bits along there. There's a bit there. So as you can see, this is really just fling it in and hope for the best. Right, I've got some of this blue now. Changed it a bit. Right, let's get this in. Some of this. Now, I'm going to add some up here. And I'm just going to try and get rid of that tree. Right, now that looks an absolute mess, so just bear with me. I'm just going to tidy some bits up, blend them in together. There's a bit there. Now the danger here is as I say, the danger is you've got yellows and blues all over the place now. Yellows and blues can make green, so you've got to be very careful. Right, it's starting to take shape. A bit over here. Some nice bits up there. Right. You take a bit out of there, put some yellow in. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to soften up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dab bits out for where these trees are. Just going to take some bits that'll be the shape of the tree about here, because I want to get nice green, and this bit right up here is going to be green down round about the house. Right, I think that's not bad. I don't want to touch that much more. I'm going to leave that. So, I hope you followed that okay. A big deep breath and get on with it. So I'm just going to leave that. And I'll start mixing up the colours for the bottom, the lavender field, etc. So now I need to mix up a few colours to tackle the bottom part of this painting, the field with the lavender, and there's also bits of green, dark green and light green in amongst it. So you can see that I've mixed up that top part, and I've used ultramarine blue and rose madder. Now I'm mixing up dark green with brown and Windsor blue, and it gives you that dark green. And I also need to get some lighter green. So now I'm going to start, I'll start on the right hand side at the bottom here, and try and get the lavender colour in, and then add the greens, the dark green and the light green. So off we go. So I'm using the lilac-y colour that I mixed up and painting it down in the bottom right hand corner, and I'm just going to work my way across, leaving some bits of gaps as you see. That'll allow me to put the dark and light greens over on the left and in the centre of the painting. So just finishing off bits with the where the lavender is, and going to leave again one or two bits for the green, and then I'll just try and fill in these gaps. And it's wet into wet, it'll be soft, so should get some nice edges again, they'll blend in. So I'm going to tackle this bit over on the right first and putting a dark green colour in there, and I'm going to carry on with that, just one or two bits over on the left, and then I'll get the lighter green and drop that in, and some of these other bits. Just it's really just to prevent it all merging together, and if I didn't leave the gaps, you'd get some dirty colours. So I'm just trying to protect it and get some of that nice light green away up in the top left hand side of the field here. So I'm just going to carry on, fill that in, and then that'll be that part finished. I'm just going to let it all soften together. I've got some darker bits of that lilac colour. I'm going to try and create some little bits of texture in the foreground again. But I'll get some water and just soften all this off. But it's starting to take shape. The bit over on the left's looking quite good now, all the colours blending together. So I think I'll just about leave it at that. Right, I'm going to paint the building and the wall, get that out of the road, and then I can start the big trees. So I've just mixed up a brown. Just going to paint this wall that goes along here. And it seems to turn and go up here a bit. Some darker bits in there. I think that's white. Right. So I'm going to paint the end of the building. A bit of raw sienna. Let's use that grey colour, right. So put this in. Right. It's a bit of bluish, purpley colour goes up there. Right. Just want to change the shape of that roof a bit. Should be, that's better. Down at an angle. Right. What I want to do now is, I'm thinking about tackling these big trees. Get all the greenery in first. I just like to have got that roof in. I'm going to try it, get the roof next. Right, just try and drop this red roof in just now. Don't want that to touch that bit that's still wet. This is what happens when you start to rush paintings. Just about there. Right, that'll do. And I'll put a lighter colour in for the side of the house. I can tidy this up later as long as I can just get it filled in, and then I know I can leave that bit. Right, that's not bad. Okay, so just before I dive into this, the trees, there's bits over here, there's a piece of field that looks as if it's heading down that way. I just want to get that in as well. And there's some greenery just round about here. So I'm just going to drop all that in, let it merge together, and that's that bit filled in. Right. So that is quite a big tree as well, a lot of greenery in it. Just want to take this down to about there. Right down. Then it starts to come around about here, and that's it into the building. So I'm just going to cover all that in just now. I add some bits later. Right, let's just get some thicker bits in. I'm going to try and change this a little. I want to mix up some thick, really thick paint. Strong, dark. This is about an 8 or a 9 value. I want to get that in here. That comes down right into the building. That's super, that's good. We get a bit of contrast there now. And it's going to go right down here. And we'll put some little bits in the centre so that I can leave space for the trunk and some thin branches. I'm going to mix up some dark green here, lighter green, sorry, but thick. Just going to show you again. Right, that's strong again, super. Right, I just want to get some of that's better. When it's thick and strong like that, you get these edges which are good. Right, so what I'm going to try and do now is try and put a trunk in first and some branches, and I'll get that tree finished. So I'm going to use some dark brown. And the trunk sort of starts down about here. Looks as if there could be 2 trees here, which would help, that would be good. And I'm going to use the rigger now. I'm just going to start to flick the brush about and get some thin branches going up inside here. Same over here and up there. Right, it's starting to look a bit better. Okay, I'll add some detail at the end when that's dry. Right, want to try and tackle this big tree on the right hand side. This is a huge thing, so just got some green. I'm going to get the lighter bits first. Seems to be quite light all the way up here. Solid again, there's not much gaps in this one. here. Right, now I want to get the dark green, so I'm going to go in again. I'll just let you see me mixing this big strong dark colour. I'm going to use some of that brown here, and right, we'll get this in. So we get a piece of paper towel, handy to have. Right, so it's from here onwards, big, strong, strong darks. I'm needing a rest after this to get the kettle on. This is quite a task, this one. I'm just trying to create some shape here. It keeps coming round fairly tapered at the top there, and then it's a lot of individual branches coming out here, and it's darker down here. It seems to be darker around the roof area, so that'll help. Always nice to get contrast. This just looks like bushes as well. Right, so we're getting there. This is dry, I'm just dragging it down. I'm going to slightly darken that bit up, get a bit of contrast. Right, what I'll do now is let's put the trunk for this one in. Again, this looks like 2 or 3 trees. Put another one in there. And this is another one about here. This will help as this goes over. Right. Now I'll get the rigger out and get some thinner branches up here. Just going through it. Right, that's a bit better. Just going to add some detail to the house just now. Get that out of the way. So looks like a window here. Looks like a doorway here. Push right up. Right, that'll do. I think there's a couple of bits at the back, so right, that should cover that. put some water across there to have a shadow just below the roof area. Right, that'll do. Put a chimney in while I'm here. Now there's some bushes just in front of that, so I'm just going to drop that in while I'm here. Get all this little bits of detail at the road. I usually leave this to the end, but I just want to get all this done. There's a lot still to do way up the back here. Alright, there's some, just as I say, put some suggestion of bushes and shrubs and right, that'll do. Add some water and we're fine. It's great what water does, it can just soften that off and looks presentable. Right, I think we'll just call it a day at that just now, and then we have the final, all the detail to go in here and here. Okay, so now we come to the detail which will hopefully bring this painting to life. So let's get started. So I'm just going to mix up some. Where am I going to start? I just want to start over from the left here. I want to just add a bit of detail to that area. So I'm using the rigger brush and I just want to add some green, darker greens here, just to create a bit of depth. Just take these trees in here a bit. So you'll see that that is darker and it's pushed that this bit here and this bit further back. What I want to do as well, I just want to add better let you see this. Just want to add some purpley blue colour to these bits further back, just to suggest. Right, that'll do. It's a little bit water, and that's helped that a bit. Right, just going to go over to the top right here. I want to add some dark green. Just add some little bits of bushes. And take some of these up. Just take them above the horizon. It looks quite good. Right, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to start off and try and finish this tree in this wall bit here. So I need a bit of brown, darkish brown. Tidy up that wall, try and suggest some bits of stonework. do. Now I'm going to go in and try and make these trunks a bit stronger and tidy up the foliage part. So I just want to make these a bit darker. Make that a bit darker. Take that one up there. And I'm just going to go up through the gap that we have there. That paint, that's actually still wet. Must be a little puddle there. Just going to dab that for a minute. Let it dry. Just going to go over to this one. I don't know how that's wet. There's just one little bit. So I'm coming across here. This is really fine now, as you'll have seen when I was doing the demonstration with the trees. Some really thin strokes. It seems to have dried now, so I'll just carry on up there. Right. I think that's starting to look a bit better. Just going to darken that bit there. It's always nice to get contrast. Okay. So what I'm planning to do is just give this bit on the right a little bit more detail. Just this feathered edge. Just coming across. You drop some bits down there. It's nice to get the contrast of that dark green against the light sky in the background. So, there we are. Right. What I'm doing with the one on the right is just dabbing in some bits of yellow ochre into the front area, just to give again a contrast against the darks over this side. So it's a very dry brush effect again. I think just take some of that over here as well. Quite nice, that's fine, that'll do. Now, lastly, we've got to tackle this area here. And this looks a real mess just now. What I'm going to do is, and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to use some white gouache. See, I've got a splodge of it up in the corner there. What I need to do is I need to get these fields a lot lighter colour for that lavender field, and also for some of the green here. So what I need to do is mix up a wash of that lilac colour I used for the lavender. Firstly, just want to darken that line there and this one here, and I'll show you why I need to do that later as I apply the mix of the lavender colour. So I'm just mixing up a dark green just now, and I'm going to paint that in there fairly dark. Just like so. I'll show you what that's for in a minute. I'm going to do one here as well. I need this for bits of contrast. And as we go further across, just going to make one or two bits there, slightly darker, not as dark as this bit, and that'll do. Let me put a bit across there. Right, so I'm going to let that dry off. I'm going to mix up this lavender colour. Softening some of these edges. Right, that'll do. Okay, so I'm going to have a go at mixing up this bright lavender colour in here. So I'm going to use ultramarine blue up here, and use some of that rose madder colour. It's very bright, very strong, as you can see. It's just changed that too strong. So I'm going to go back to the blue. There we are, that's better. Now I need to get some white in there, so I'm just going to let you see this, because as I say, I don't normally do this at all. So I've picked up some white here, and I'm just going to take it over to this colour and drop some in. Right, that's disappeared completely. But it hasn't really, because that's me under control now. So what I can do is add some blue. See how it's thick, chalky type paint now. Adding some blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of rose madder colour, and it's starting to come now. Right. So hopefully you can see now what I was talking about, why I had to put that dark green line in there, because the the lilac-y colour that I've got now is super when it goes again. I'm just going to open the brush up again and make some so there we are. Just trying to get the brush with thick paint on it. That'll do. There we are. That's again, see how we get the little strokes against the dark green. Now this is a bit chalky. This is not what I would usually do, but this is a tricky paint in anybody's language. So now that I've got some of that lighter paint on the brush, I'm really just going to finish now. And you'll see I'm just adding little bits and pieces here in the foreground. I've got the brush sort of splayed out so I get the nice strokes, as you can see these little bits here. And I'm just going to carry on over on that left hand side. Not got much more to do now. Just dragging these bits against the dark, so it's quite nice that. Just one little bit over on the left to complete, and I think that'll about do. Tendency to overdo this, but it's turned out quite nice now. So I think I'll just call it a day now. I'm really looking for bits, and I think we've got it all covered in. So as I said, this is quite a tricky painting. It's not something, well, I'm just looking at the time, it's about 45 minutes, so if you do have a go at this, you'll need to plan it out and take your time. Well, here's the finished painting, and I have to say I'm really pleased with the way it's turned out. I wouldn't say I was happy with it 20 minutes ago. The sky seemed to be a real mess of colours, but they've blended together, and I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. The trees was also, when I started, I thought, oh, this doesn't look, this is not what I was planning, but again, they've fell into place quite nicely with the little building in between them, the red roof and the green's a super contrast. And finally the field got there in the end by using some white paint. So just a lesson for you here. Sometimes this happens in a painting and it's quite easy to give in. Just keep going. Have a coffee, come back, and it's amazing how it starts to take shape.